Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on stem and leaf plots. A stem and leaf plot is a special type of statistical table that organises all the scores in order by using columns titled stems and leaves. The largest place values are placed in the stem column and the smaller place values are placed in the leaf column. Let's have a look how this works. Example 1. Organise the following test scores using a stem and leaf plot. Firstly, we organise the data in order, so that's easy to do. So that's all jumbled all over the place. So all we do is put the numbers in order from lowest to highest. Then we look here and we see that there are 3 scores in their 30s. So the tens column, which is here, the largest place value, 3, 3 and 3 are in the tens column, so we put the 3 there. Then we look at the next and we see 3 numbers in their 40s, so we put the 4 there. There are 4 numbers in their 50s, so we put the 5 there. So these are the tens column. So these numbers here, 3 tens, 4 tens, 5 tens, so they have a value of 10, because that's the tens column. In the 60s, if you look at the numbers, there are 4 numbers in the 60s, so we put the 6 there, 3 numbers in the 70s, and 3 numbers in the 80s. Now we go back and we have to put the numbers in the column entitled leaves. If that's a 0 there, we put the 0 here because that gives you 30. That's what that means. If that's a 6, you put the 6 here. So these are the units numbers, the ones column. So you have 30, 36, 38. Notice the next numbers are 41, 45, 49, so it's 41, 45, 49. And you keep going until all the numbers have been placed in the table. Now, what I've done, I have repeated the table here because it just makes it easier for us to have a look at it. We don't have to go back to the previous slide. From the table we can see that the lowest score is 30, 30, and the highest score is 86, 86. We can also see that 4 students had a score in the 50s, which is 52, 53, 54 and 58. So that's a basic example of a stem and leaf plot where you've just got an amount of numbers, one set of numbers if you like. Now it becomes a little bit more involved because stem and leaf plots can also be used to compare the scores of 2 separate classes. So for the second example, use a stem and leaf plot to organise the test scores in the following 2 classes. So you have Class A and Class B. To make our job a little easier, we've got these numbers in order. Okay, so that saves us time putting them in order. So each class, if you like, there could be 15 students in each class, and these are the test scores for each class. Now let's go to the next slide. So what we've done, we've organised those scores into the stem and leaf plot, where the stems, again, are the tens column. So you go to the lowest score, which would have been 56. So you put the 5 there. Then you go 6, 7, 8, 9. So all the scores in those classes were in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. That's why you put the tens column there. Now, we start putting the scores in. Let's have a look if there are some scores in the 50s. Well, in Class B, we had 56 and 58. And that's why we put those numbers there. So if we go back to Class B, I'll only do this once. You'll see you have 56 and 58. We continue on through the numbers, and once they're all set, you will get all those numbers there for Class B and all those numbers there for Class A, and here we have the tens column. We can see by quick observation that the results of Class A were better than the results for Class B. The reason for that is you can see that basically people in Class A got in the 60s, that was their lowest score in the 60s, and they have 5 students in the 90s. Class B had 2 people in the 50s, but they only had 2 people in the 90s. We can also answer the following questions. What were the lowest and highest scores for Class A? So if we look at Class A here, the lowest score was 62 and the highest score was 98. What were the lowest and highest scores for Class B? The lowest score for Class B was 56 and the highest was 91. What was the range for each class? Now the range is the highest score minus the lowest. So for Class A we have 98 minus 62, which is 36. And for Class B we have 91 minus 56, which is 35. So this video has introduced us to the idea of stem and leaf plots, where we can place scores in a special table, and we've explained the stem part of it, we've explained the leaf part of it, and once the scores are arranged like that, especially when you've got 2 different sets of scores, it's very, very easy to compare them and to answer particular questions.